Good day, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicole Smith, and I'm a realtor here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today I have a special guest with me. Today I have Barry Young from CMG Financial. He is a mortgage originator loan officer, and he is here to share an exciting new program that has launched in Florida for home heroes. And I'm really excited to have him here as a guest to explain to you all the good things that you can get with this new program. He is going to be introducing himself and giving you a slide presentation. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below in the box. We'll have all his information and my information below as well. So make sure you follow, like, and subscribe so you can get some more informational videos just like this one. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk at the very end. Go ahead, Barry. Welcome.
Hey, thank you, Nicole, so much for having me. Always a pleasure to work with you, and for your buyers, welcome to all of our future home buyers as well. As you mentioned, I'll be talking about our Hometown Heroes program, and I'll briefly touch on a few other options as well, because the Hometown Heroes is specifically for certain professions and categories, but we don't want anyone to feel left out. So enough about that. I want to go ahead and get into the presentation and give everyone what they came here for, which is information. So what we have is, well, I guess first a little bit about me. Again, I am Barry Young. I'm with CMG Financial, or CMG Mortgage, CMG Home Loans. You may hear all of those names, but what you need to know is we are a direct mortgage lender. We are locally right here in Jacksonville. So I am knitted to this community. I am committed to making sure that my community is better and it has more homeowners. So getting right to it, Mortgage 101 for first-time home buyers and programs that are involved. So with the Hometown Heroes, as well as some of the other programs as well, what we do is offer multiple options for it as well. So we offer conventional loans, FHA loans, VA loans, and also USDA loans. And down payment assistance or first-time home buyers programs can be used for all of these different types of loans. And what's going to determine that is each buyer's individual scenario and profile, and what's best, not for me or not for anyone else, but what's best for them individually. And my job is not to make decisions on which option you go into, is to make sure that you know all options that are available and then make the right choice. I have a saying, the only thing that you can do wrong is continue to pay rent. So just to touch briefly on these, a conventional loan is one that is typically backed by either Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. They have higher income limits, and they're not necessarily government loans. They're government backed, so to speak. And contrary to common belief, you do not need 20% down to get a conventional loan. If you are a first-time home buyer, you can potentially get into a home with as little as 3% or 5% down. So that's the biggest thing I wanted to touch on with that. 20% is not required in order to get a conventional loan. Typically, higher credit scores are more favorable or going to put you in a better position, but again, 20% is not required. Then, of course, we have FHA loans, which are government-backed loans. They are a little more flexible in terms of credit qualification. There's a little more leeway, there's a little more give, and they're typically easier to get approved as well. As I mentioned, as seen on the screen, 3.5% is the minimum down payment. That's whether you're a first-time home buyer or buying your second home. 3% down. 580 is the minimum credit score. So you can get into a home with a score as little as 580. So if your credit score is, if you don't think it's where it needs to be, you owe it to yourself to talk with Nicole or talk with me and have a detailed look at where you are. Then we have, of course, the VA loans as well, which are awesome. We take care of our veterans. VA loans do not require a down payment. So you can come to the table, we can have nothing down at all on a VA loan, have a score as low as 580 as well, and there's no mortgage insurance. So bottom line, VA loans are going to typically give you an overall lower payment dollar for dollar than other types of loans. And then finally, we have our USDA loans, which are typically for rural areas. Right now, I don't believe there's any homes that qualify for USDA in the immediate Jacksonville area, but right in the outskirts in Clay counties, St. John's, Nassau, you can find some homes that qualify for USDA. USDA as well does not require a down payment. And something that a lot of people don't know, you can actually roll your closing costs into a USDA loan. That is the only loan that you can roll in closing costs on a purchase as well. So on to the down payment assistance or first-time home buyer options. We have, of course, the hometown heroes, which we're going to spend most of our time on, but we have some others that are listed that you see that I'm going to touch on briefly. The first one is home funding. This is something that we offer here at CMG. We are the only lender in the nation that offers this. It's a crowdfunding platform. GoFundMe would be the closest thing to compare it to, but it's a program wherein you can set up a profile to talk about your quest to purchase a home, post it on multiple social media outlets. So as many as you have, you post it, and anyone can donate towards the purchase of your home. And the kicker is we do not source the funds. They don't have to be friends. They don't have to be relatives. It can be someone that just has a heart of gold, wants to contribute $50, and 100% of those funds go towards your down payment at closing. And you do not have to be pre-approved to start this. The only thing you need to do is contact me and apply, and I can link you up with this option, and you build funds for as long as it takes, because it does not expire, and it's the best thing that I have seen in the mortgage industry. So home funded is something that is exclusively offered through CMG. We also offer the Chinoa Fund. It's a nationwide program that provides anywhere from either 3.5% or 5% down. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer to utilize the Chinoa Fund, and also the credit score minimum will go down to as low as 600 as well. So a couple of main points to emphasize on those. It's not just for first-time home buyers, and you can have a score as low as 500 to qualify. So hometown heroes, that's what all the buzz has been about. Hometown Heroes is, in essence, new. It's not totally brand new. There was originally a program called Salute Our Soldiers that was designed strictly for veterans. And Salute Our Soldiers kind of morphed into Hometown Heroes, where it still takes care of our veterans, which we absolutely want to do, but it also encompasses other professions, our first responders, our nurses, our police officers, our firefighters, and it expanded to almost, I don't want to say anyone, but a lot of professions in the medical field as well. There's actually over 50 professions that are covered that can utilize this. So if you are even a personal trainer or a masseuse, those are professions that can actually utilize this program. A couple of the key points are you will receive 5% of the loan amount towards your down payment and closing. So if you're doing either an FHA loan or even a conventional with 3%, this program is going to cover your down payment in its entirety, your minimum down payment. And then also that extra money is going to trickle over and help take care of some of your closing costs as well, which is huge. As mentioned on there, the rates on this program right now are lower than what market rates are. So even if you have a 800 credit score, you're going to get prime pricing, but typically you're not going to get a rate as low as what this program will provide. So it is completely awesome. It has lower closing costs because there are certain fees that are taken out. There's no points added on to the pricing, and it waives the intangible tax as well, which is typically at least a few $1,000s in the state of Florida. So those are a couple of things that eliminate some of the closing costs that it involves and keeps as much of your money in your pocket as possible. It does require a 640 credit score. So if you're close or over 640, by all means, give us a call. But if you're not there, still give us a call. There are ways that we can get your score where it needs to be very, very quickly. One of the bullet points talks about tax relief for eligible buyers. Just to specify, that is referring primarily to veterans, because veterans that are, disabled, they are exempt from the VA funding fee, which saves on your total mortgage loan. And then if you are 100% disabled, you are exempt from paying property taxes. And anyone that's a homeowner already or has owned a home knows that is a huge benefit because taxes are going up and not down. So that is huge. But again, Hometown Heroes is the buzz right now. It's for our teachers, our first responders, those in the medical field, and it's going to provide 5% of down payment assistance. That is huge because credit and income, most buyers have that. The down payment for the funds for down payment and closing is the biggest obstacle for most buyers, and that goes across all demographics, all racial demographics, all living demographics, age, you name it. Down payment and closing is the biggest obstacle that I run across on a daily basis. So this is a huge opportunity to fill that gap. And it's going to give you up to $25,000. So even if you're buying a home over $300,000, this is still going to give you a solid 5% towards the purchase of your home, which is absolutely huge. It can be used on FHA, VA loans, as well as conventional loans. So if you are a qualified buyer, you're under any of these categories that are listed, or if you're not sure, give us a call. We have the master list, and we can say, you do this for a living, we got you covered. So Hometown Heroes, this is an awesome program to put more qualified buyers in our community into homes. So I know what you're thinking. You're saying, well, Barry, I'm not a first responder, I'm not a veteran, I'm not a teacher, I don't work in the medical field, but I have a 640 credit score, my income is good, I would like a little help as well. So am I left out in the cold? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We still have our Florida Bond program. And this is a cousin to the Hometown Heroes. And what it does, it is going to give you $10,000 currently towards the purchase of your home. And on a purchase price up to maybe about close to $300,000, that's going to cover your down payment, which is huge. So those rates, even those right now, are still below market rates. So you're still getting that benefit. There are still certain closing costs that are waived or not allowed to be charged. So you're still going to benefit as well. And this is available for all first-time home buyers. And just to kind of clarify, a first-time home buyer is defined as someone who has either never purchased a home or someone who has not owned a primary residence within the past 3 years. So if you owned a home previously, you sold it, and it's been more than 3 years, we're going to classify you as a first-time home buyer. Or if you own a home, but it's not your primary, it's a investment home or a home that you inherited, but you can verify that you have not lived in that home over the last 3 years, you can still use this program as well. So the Florida bond is still available. Currently it's $10,000. It was $7,500, but as the market ticked up, Florida Housing wanted to make sure that they were still being a benefit to buyers, so they increased it to $10,000. If the market continues to change, we may see more funds added to it. But right now, that $10,000 is a huge benefit to buyers right now. So those are the primary programs right now. And then another, adjunct to the bond program, which can be used for FHA conventional loans as well. There is an option, I just wanted to at least touch on it, that does give $10,000. And this is kind of a niche. So there are some that, due to income or other factors, that may not qualify for the Hometown Heroes or the bond option. This is one that provides $10,000 as well, but it shows up initially as a second mortgage that you pay on at a 3% rate for 15 years, which comes out to, if I'm not mistaken, $69 exactly, right around there. And the difference between that is the other programs that I've mentioned, that money, you do not make any payments on it. As long as you're in the home, you're making payments on that mortgage. There's no interest accrued. There are no payments required. It's what's called a silent second, meaning that you don't even know it's there. So those are the primary programs that most buyers are using right now. There are a couple of others that are available as well, in particular Home Sweet Home, that is available for certain counties as well. And these all fall under the umbrella of Florida housing, like the Hometown Heroes and bond programs. And I can talk for hours about these, but the biggest thing, like I mentioned before, is it's not what programs are available or what program is best. It is what program is best for you. So my biggest takeaway that I would encourage you to say is, don't make a preconceived decision on which program you think is going to be the best one for you or which one you think you can use. Give me a call. My first conversation is just that, a conversation to talk about where you are, what your goals are, and then from there, kind of give a diagnosis of what options sound beneficial. Once we get a loan application in place, then I can firmly prescribe these options will work for you. And then from there, let's get you into a home.
Thank you so much, Barry. That was very informative. I do have one or two questions. As far as the Home Heroes program goes, do you have to pay that back? Is that a program where at some point you're paying that money back?
Excellent question. Yes, the Hometown Heroes as well as the Florida Bond Program, those are what's called deferred down payment assistance, meaning that, as I mentioned, as long as you're in the home, you are fine. There's no payments, no statements, and no interest. But if you sell the home or if you refinance the home, then in those situations, the proceeds that come from the refinance or the sale will go towards paying those funds back. I would like to think if you're in a position where you're selling or refinancing, you've got tons of equity, so it should be a drop in the bucket. I've refinanced tons of people who have used this program, and when the market is favorable, we get them out of that where they can pay that money back, still save money, still potentially shorten their terms, just a matter of striking when the iron is hot. But short answer, yes, those funds do eventually have to be paid back. There is an option under the bond program called our TBA, which is the bond alternate, where it actually gives a percentage of anywhere between 3 to 5%. And those specific options actually are not paid back. After being in the home for 5 years, the money is completely forgiven. The one requirement or caveat with that is it's only available for conventional loans. And that falls in line of once we've had a chance to look under the hood of your credit, your income, your total scenario as a buyer, if it's available and if it's advantageous, it is something that will be looked at as well. That way you don't have to worry about paying anything back, or I don't want to say paying it back, or having it taken out of your equity at a later time.
Great. The other question I have is, are these bonds limited in the sense of once the funds are gone, they're no longer available, these programs?
Actually not. That's the awesome thing about it, is because what happens with I never like to say ever or never, but for all intents and purposes, that option will always be there in some shape, form, or fashion. They may change it from Salute Our Soldiers to Hometown Heroes. They may change it to Jacksonville Buyers Honor, whatever it is, but there will be funds, because as buyers are making their payments and paying it back, it goes back into it as well. So it's always being replenished. So it's not a situation where funds run out. There is, in that same vein, a program that I do offer as well, that's offered through the city of Jacksonville, the Hometown Heroes program, or H2H as it's commonly called. That is a program that is extremely lucrative. I will say right now it's offering up to $50,000 to qualified home buyers. However, those funds do run out. So it's almost seasonal. Once they run out of funds, then the program is by default suspended. And then once they get more funds from the different entities on the state, on the different government levels, then they offer it again. So Hometown Heroes is one where when it's available, you need to act fast while the funds are available. But the Florida bonds, any of the programs offered through e-housing or Florida housing, those are going to be there. Great question.
And can you use any of these programs stacked with each other?
Currently, we don't stack the programs. Each one of them are siloed. And I would just say, our goal is to create healthy and well-qualified home buyers. So we want to encourage our buyers to have some funds to bring to closing, because I frankly don't want anyone in the situation where they need to have all of that money stacked on, because we want to make sure that we not only get you into a home, that we keep you into a home.
Very good. And so you're saying that most of the programs you have to have a 640 credit score, correct?
Most of the programs, any of the programs from Florida Housing, which would be the bond programs, the Hometown Heroes programs, those are currently requiring a 640 credit score. Home Sweet Home falls under that umbrella as well. The Chinoa Fund, that one does not have a 640. 600 is required. And then the H2H program offered through the city of Jacksonville, that one does not have a limit. It simply goes by whatever the lender will approve, which with us, you can get into a home with a score as little as 580.
So if you could give our future home buyers 3 pieces of advice when it comes to qualifying for a home mortgage, and maybe their credit score isn't quite at a 620 or a 640, what would be your 3 pieces of advice to give them to help them boost their credit?
First thing is, fill out an application with me, because what I can do is give you an efficient plan to increase your credit. Because the biggest mistake, I don't want to say mistake, what a lot of buyers will do is do things to work on their credit, And while they may be effective, they may not be the most efficient. As a loan officer, I have access to tools that are connected directly with the credit bureaus. So I'm not telling you what I think will help your score. I'm telling you what Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion are saying. Do these things, because it may be something as simple as paying a card down to $25 instead of $0, which can have an adverse effect. So the first thing, contact me. Actually allow me to take a look at your credit information to provide a game plan to get it where it needs to be or get it higher. Second thing is keep your credit card balances to a minimum. I think the magic number is 25 to 30% of the overall credit limit. And I'm just going to be transparent. That's easier said than done. I think we all know that. We live in the real world, but as much as possible, keep that balance at no more than 25 to 30%. That is going to maximize it. The longer you keep that balance there, then it's going to help. Anything over 50% definitely works against you. And then in that, I guess, a 2B, use your credit cards. Don't make the mistake of paying off your cards and letting them sit at a zero balance. In essence, that shows, it puts on the aura as if you don't trust yourself with credit. So if you can't trust yourself with credit, why should we trust you with credit? So a good thing to do is take yourself to lunch once a month on the credit card. Put 35, 40 bucks on it, then pay it down to $10, use it again. Keep a small balance on the credit card. That actually will help. I know it seems like, that's going against the grain because it's debt, but in some cases, you need that revolving credit to help you score. And the third thing I would say is, I know the third thing. As of July 1st, the credit bureaus have agreed to remove or to discontinue reporting medical collections, paid medical collections. Typically, myself, probably any credit specialist that you talk to will say, hey, if the creditor does not agree to remove it from the report, don't pay the collection, because a collection with a $100 balance is the same as a collection with a zero balance. It will not help you score. That has always been true. But now, with this new agreement or law that's being put into effect, I am telling everyone, go through your credit report, pull up any collections medical-wise. If you can have them paid off, go ahead and pay it, because starting in July, they're going to stop reporting paid medical collections. So they have to be paid, and then removing collections is generally going to increase your score. So those are the three things that I would advise. One, give me a call. Two, pay down the credit, keep the credit card balances low. And then three, pay off medical collections. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here, if that's okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much for all that information, Barry. It was very, very, very helpful and educational. And I hope that my viewers reach out to you to get their mortgage loan started, or at least to figure out where they're at, so they know what to do to get to that level that they can get approved for a mortgage loan. I appreciate your time and your expertise. Make sure you guys like and follow my video. I'll leave everything about Barry in my comments. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, reach out to Barry, and we'll help you get into a home sooner rather than later. As Barry pointed out before, the worst thing you can do is continue to pay rent and not build up your financial equity and in your financial house. Literally, a house is a really great place to start building your financial future. So thanks again for watching, friends. And until next time, remember to keep living the dream with Nikki in Jacksonville, Florida.